there. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Bright Horizons College Coach webinar. My name is Katie Lamador, and I am the manager of tuition programs here at Columbia. I work in the Manhattanville campus in the Studebaker building, and I just want to welcome everyone to this webinar today, this new Lunch and Learn webinar. Like I was mentioning before, we have had about 125 people signed up, and I'm looking here as the host of this webinar. There's about 33 participants. So thank you all for joining. Just to let you know, this webinar is being recorded right now. And I ask if you could please put your lines on mute if they're not on mute already. I would really much appreciate that. And I'm going to introduce our partner here, Lindsay Kinnings. She's the head of the Bright Horizons College Coach, and she will be presenting this webinar today. So I'm going to hand it off to Lindsay. And if you could please keep your questions until the end, we will have plenty of time for questions once Lindsay finishes with the presentation. And I will take, you can type your questions into the chat box, but thank you, everyone. And I'll just hand it off to Lindsay, and I will advance to the next slide here.
Great. Wonderful. Thank you so much, Katie. And thank you all for spending some time with us today, especially on what's likely your lunch hour. So we wanted to give you an overview of the Bright Horizons College Coach program in the event that you might have a middle schooler, a young high schooler who's starting to think about their college future, or maybe you have an upperclassman who's beginning the college planning, application, finance process. We want to make sure that you are aware of this free benefit and how we can help both you and your student navigate through this exciting, often stressful, and sometimes challenging journey. So I wanted to kind of start with, laying the landscape for you all. Especially if you have a high schooler, I'm sure some of these data points or stats really kind of hit home for you. But it's no surprise that college planning can be complex. About 30% of parents are feeling overwhelmed thinking about saving for college, and about 40% of them are losing sleep over potential college costs. 32% of parents say that cost is a major factor when choosing a college for their child and student. And also, a challenge that many families are facing is the amount of time that public school counselors can spend or have available to spend on college counseling. About 22% of their time is dedicated to college counseling, and the recommended high school student to college counselor ratio is about 250 to 1. However, in actuality, the national average is closer to about 482 to 1. So it's a complex process. Parents are stressed about it, they're worried about it, and getting access to information can sometimes be challenging. We do know that there are some amazing, outstanding school counselors out there. However, generally speaking, college counselors have a lot on their plate. It's not just college process that they are tasked to tackle. And so there's a lot of student support, not a lot of time, and that's really where the Bright Horizons benefit can step in. College Coach can help provide access to tools, resources, as well as expert guidance to help you and your student navigate some of these complexities. This benefit is also pretty popular, and about 98% of users would recommend this benefit to a colleague. So if you aren't yet a College Coach user, welcome. I hope you leave here today understanding how this benefit can help support you. And we look forward to working with you and your student very soon in the near future. And if you are a College Coach user, thank you. We appreciate your time, your feedback, as well as spreading the word on College Coach. So, Katie, if you could move to the next slide. And just a reminder, if you could mute your phones, that would be great. So Yep, there we go. Bright Horizons College Coach, again, is really a tool and resource to help you navigate the college process. If you have a high school student who's getting ready to start the college admissions process, maybe you're concerned about your student wanting to explore alternatives other than a traditional kind of 4-year college program, or perhaps you're stressed about how to navigate the college finance challenges. Again, this free benefit is available to help you kind of navigate these questions, those roadmaps. And this is all provided to you by Columbia University. So, on the next slide, please, Katie. Before we jump into kind of the details of this benefit, I want to start off by talking about who our college coach experts are. They are the group of people that sit behind this benefit that is providing that thought content, that leadership, those recommendations. Our college coach expert team is backed by a team of world class experts with over 900 collective years of experience in college admissions and college finance. These were all people who were former college admissions officers or financial aid officers. So they have been boots on the ground making those admissions and finance decisions. And they really have a unique understanding of what colleges are looking for. They come with experience from more than 70 institutions, a few institutions to highlight: Boston College, Brown, Cornell, Fordham, Stanford, UC San Diego, UNC Chapel Hill, University of Portland. So, really, from a wide breadth of colleges. And again, together, they really bring a lot of expertise to the table. They have decided on over 525,000 applications. They have helped grant more than 2.5 billion in financial aid to students and reviewed more than 650,000 essays. And they also have experience in elementary and secondary schools. I do want to throw out an important note. Our college coach team does not sell investment products, recruit for colleges, or benefit financially from the planning decisions that they help you and your student make. The college coach, our goal is really to provide unbiased information for you and your student that you will find empowering and which you may not receive from other sources. So let's get into the details. Katie, if you could switch the slides. So, as mentioned, this benefit gives you access to expert guidance from our college expert team, which I just mentioned on the previous slide. Employees who take advantage of this benefit say that College Coach can help reduce their stress, save them time and money, as well as achieve outcomes that they couldn't have imagined on their own. Bright Horizons College Coach provides resources to maximize your students' academic success through a multi level approach that includes webinars, an online learning center, and personalized assistance from our experts. So, most people, when they're starting their interactions with College Coach, they usually hear about one of our insider workshops, our live webinars, which are about 60 to 90 minutes, depending on the topic. And that's usually where most people start. They attend a webinar. Oh, just a reminder to put your phones on mute, please. So they'll join a webinar to kind of receive some information on a particular topic, and we'll discuss in a minute what the topics are throughout the year. But these webinars are really an opportunity for families to understand the landscape of that particular topic. We have a handful of topics related to various parts of the college admissions process, as well as the financial process as well. So this kind of gives you a broad overview on kind of things to think about, questions to ask, next steps. And then this is really an opportunity for you to kind of absorb this information, take it back to your own family, and think through what comes next. This usually generates some questions for families, which then people usually reach out to our expert guidance team. So you have, again, free access to this team of former college admissions and financial aid officers to help you with any sort of personal question that you might have related to the college admissions or finance process. This team can help families understand financial aid, various admissions questions, if there are some nuances with your child's academic career, anything like that. They're really your, again, unbiased go to help answer some of these questions. A few other things that our college expert team can help with is when your student is a junior, at the second half of their junior year, we can start putting together a customized college list for your students. So we'll walk you through a little questionnaire to get an idea of what are your students' interests, desires, big school, small school, urban, rural. Is sports a part of your student's future, as well as a copy of their transcripts and their grades. So that way we can put together kind of a comprehensive list of schools, just right schools, maybe higher reach, maybe some kind of backup safety schools, and really kind of narrow down this list based on the interests and needs of you and your family and your student. In addition to these customized college lists, we can also review admissions essays. And I think this is my favorite part of the College Coach program. Mom and dad could probably provide the exact same feedback that our College Coach team might, but sometimes because it's coming from mom and dad, it can be hard for your student to hear. So having this college expert team can really, again, be that. Unbiased, that feedback that your student might need. And oftentimes they can receive that message a little better when it's not coming from mom and dad. But again, they were in this world in their former careers and they know what colleges are looking for. They know how to give suggestions to really make your students stand out, to make their voice shine without, kind of writing the essay for them. So it is, very much your students' work with some helpful tips and comments. In addition to our expert guidance, there's also an option to do quick questions. So if you have kind of a general college question that doesn't really go into the specifics of you, your family, your finances, grades, or anything like that, the quick question can be a great way to just kind of get a quick answer to your email, usually within about a day. To kind of get you started on whatever path or topic you might be researching at the moment. We also have a really wonderful online learning center that is really geared and personalized to you, your student, and it's based on their graduation year. So we do know that the topics that families are interested in can be very different if you have a junior or a senior versus if you have an eighth grader or a freshman. So this learning center is a great place to go to watch some videos, some other webinars on a variety of college topics. There's some really fantastic FAQs, blog posts, as well as some cost calculators and timelines of what needs to happen when. So I really encourage you to do take some time to visit our learning center. Additionally, you can set up login credentials for anybody in your family. So we really do encourage you to have your student get involved in this process. It is their college future, and it is important that your student, has a voice in this process. So we do encourage the student to go on, participate in these webinars if they're available, or listen to a recording after, and have them poke around on the Learning Center themselves. They might think of questions themselves or be an active participant in this process. So, Katie, if you could switch to the next slide. As mentioned, we have a series of webinars throughout the year that really touch on a variety of topics to kind of help guide families through the admissions and financial aid piece. We do have a webinar coming up next week on navigating the FAFSA and other financial aid applications. This is always a very popular topic. But again, it really kind of takes the whole college process and breaks it down into various chunks, things you should think about kind of for each grade level. And then if, perhaps a traditional four-year college isn't a part of your student's roadmap, and not a problem. We have our alternatives to a four-year degree, which is a relatively new topic that can help families make sense of this. But again, paying for college is another very popular topic. So when you are in those high school years and you've kind of taken that little nest egg that you have saved, it's a great way to kind of understand the various mechanisms to help fund your students' post high school career. So if we could move on to the next slide. So, in case you've never heard this before, it's never too early to start thinking about college. Parents with young children should start thinking about saving for college as early as possible. And those with older children can begin to prepare for future college admissions and finance now. Again, it's never too early. So, kind of taking a look at your the 4 years of high school for your student and kind of what you should think about when. Freshman year is a great time to start with College Coach. Kind of right from the start, we can help you and your student make smart curriculum and extracurricular choices with future admissions and finance in mind. We'll help your student get thinking about their goals, introduce them to the concept of college finance, lay the groundwork for summer activity options, standardized testing plans, as well as some organizational tips and how to do a college visit. Plus, starting early also allows our college finance expert team the chance to help your family gain an understanding of the college based merit scholarship process and how to align your student's high school plan towards achieving some of these goals and awards. Beginning in sophomore year, with a year of high school behind students, the focus is usually on achievements and how grades and rigor and activities will shape their future admissions. We'll continue the application planning process, choosing 11th grade curriculum, selecting activities, as well as considering standardized testing plans. It's also a great time to start researching colleges and making informal visits to kind of get a sense of, again, big school, small school, close to home, far away. And if you haven't already, we can also direct you to one of our college coach finance experts to talk about the college finance process. So if we move on to the next slide, junior year, 11th grade, it's really kind of a full year of preparation. This is when we really kind of start turning up the heat on this admissions process. And this is when the college list that I mentioned previously becomes available. This is a great time to allow the college coach team to kind of help guide you or give suggestions. We can handpick schools for your student, again, kind of divided by the likelihood of acceptance. Our college finance experts can help assist with the list to incorporate affordability as well as school based merit scholarship opportunities. We can also work with your student on self assessment activities, essay writing and reviews, curriculum planning to keep the process on track. Some other items on the junior year list: extracurricular performance reviews, standardized test schedules and strategies, private scholarship search support, as well as summer activity planning. Reaching out for those teacher recommendations is really important in your junior year, as well as understanding eligibility for any need based aid, plus tips for making your college visits really count. And if we can move on to the next slide. Senior year, the final year, there's light at the end of this tunnel for many families, and we're really kind of in the home stretch. Our goal with our seniors is to really kind of tackle that last push with a deadline driven strategic plan that will help get your student to the finish line and on time. We know that that some of these deadlines are hard and fast, so we're really here to kind of help with all of the important final elements: last standardized tests, polishing up activity resumes and essays, as well as maximizing scholarships, interview prep, and more. Finally, we're kind of dotting those I's, crossing those T's, and hitting submit on those applications. And then finally, decisions come. Yay, congratulations, we've all made it this far. But your interaction with College Coach doesn't have to end there. By continuing to consult with College Coach, we can really help you consider wait lists if that's part of the equation, making some of those final financial aid decisions. College Coach finance experts can assist with comparing offers, talking about payment strategies, and even giving you tips for negotiating and appealing financial aid decisions. So don't count us out. Once you get those envelopes, there's still a lot that we can help you with. And if we could move on to the next slide, that would be great. We do have another benefit through Bright Horizons that many of you have access to that provides virtual one on one tutoring. So your Bright Horizons backup care benefit can help with some additional academic support. So if you have a student who maybe is falling behind in a subject and needs a little extra support, or you have a student who's really excelling and you want to continue that love of learning in that topic, or perhaps you're starting to prepare for some of those standardized testing, this is a great resource that's available to you. With this, you're able to take your backup care benefit hours and exchange them for virtual one-on-one tutoring, test prep classes, as well as some group classes as well. So simply register for backup care if you haven't yet already. And again, you can exchange 8 hours of backup care for 4 hours of online tutoring. In Colombia, families have 200 hours a school year to use either for backup care, if that's part of this process for you, or through virtual tutoring. So just wanted to give a quick plug for that. Last but not least, we can move to the next slide. Just a few comments from some of your colleagues on why they love the College Coach program. So I won't read these, I can kind of let you browse them. But really, we just want to say thank you to those who have used and shared your feedback. We are so excited to be part of your family and your students' college journey. And it's so exciting when we get some feedback and, we hear from students who got into their first choice or had an aha moment with their essay writing. So thank you for sharing all of your feedback with us. And then the last slide, to get started here with College Coach, simply go to, oh, sorry, my screen just went blank on me. If simply go to passport.getintocollege.com, you will need to enter in Columbia's username and password if you're registering for the first time. And then if you've already previously registered for a Bright Horizons benefit, typically it's backup care, you can use the same credentials that you've already set up when you registered. So use those same personal username and password. If you have questions or problems or need help getting registered, don't hesitate to reach out to College Coach. We have a phone number as well as an email that you can reach out to. And these are more for kind of general benefit questions to set up time for personalized assistance. Once you're registered, you'll see that on the portal. So kind of those specific college questions, you'll want to set up some personalized assistance counseling sessions. So with that, we are going to turn it over to questions. But again, we look forward to helping you and your student manage the admissions and finance journey.
Oh, thank you so much, Lindsay. I just took my phone off of mute. But again, this is Katie Lamador, the manager of tuition programs in the HR benefits department. Thank you everybody for joining. Again, thank you, Lindsay. It was an excellent presentation. Just wanted to do a quick plug for College Coach. We get such great feedback about College Coach, especially people that use the minutes. I've talked to a number of employees recently, and they've had really great things to say about College Coach. So if you get an opportunity to please use this resource that we have available to people. And I am just going to take a quick look at the chat questions. And now, since Lindsay is done with her presentation, we can do some of these questions here in the chat box. Let me start from the top. Let's just see. It says one of the questions here is, do you have links for learning centers, please? I think we went over that.
Yeah, so to access the Learning Center, to schedule time with an expert, to register for a webinar, you'll want to access this passport.getintocollege.com, either register or log in. And then from that homepage, you'll be able to find all the Bright Horizons College Coach resources.
Okay. And the next question is, can you please show the 9th and 10th grade slides again, please? Well, we're going to be sending out a survey soon. today or tomorrow. And we will send everyone a copy of this presentation here. So you'll have the whole PowerPoint presentation there. So I just want to mention that. Yeah, you'll all get copies of the slides because we do have, we know everyone that registered, and we will definitely be sending out the slides.
And if I could just pop in here real quick, I've seen a few questions pop up with kind of specific finance or admissions questions. I just want to throw it out there. I am not a college expert, so I am really not in a position to be able to answer some of those specific questions. But again, get registered. It takes like 5 minutes. You can schedule time with one of our experts, and they can kind of get into that nitty gritty. Today, we're really just kind of answering broader questions about how the benefit works. So we don't want to ignore any of those questions. I would not be able to give you the right answer. So I want to throw that out there.
Oh, sure. That's a good point here. Yeah. And can I access the links to the July sessions now? I guess for past sessions.
For past sessions, we do have a recording available usually for about 90 days after the presentation. For any future events, you can certainly register now. All of the events that I shared earlier are available on the portal and open for registration. So you can certainly go in and register for any future events now.
Okay. This one question here is, can you please share a link on how to register? I think you went over that though.
Yep, it's right up here on the screen, the passport.getintocollege.com.
Okay. Let's see. My dependent is Canadian. Would you foresee any limitations in the services available? She would likely consider both US and Canadian universities.
Great question. So this program is really for U.S. schools. So we can certainly help with the U.S. college admission and financial piece. We wouldn't necessarily be able to help with the colleges in Canada, but for the U.S. part, we've got you.
Okay. And how do we log into the portal and make an appointment, or how does it work? It's basically just going on to the portal, registering there, and yeah.
Yep. Once you have registered, there is a home page, and everything you need to access is right on that home page. On the right side, you'll see events and webinars that you can click on to register. You'll see expert guidance up at the top that you can click to schedule an appointment. Additionally, if you're registering for a webinar, there's also the option to schedule time to speak with an expert right there. So everything is very navigable right on that home page.
Okay. Is this benefit available for seniors in high school? Yes, of course.
Yep.
Yes, it is. Okay. How do we get the same college coach across the 4 years to the extent possible?
Yeah,
I guess
great
that's
question.
someone's asking about if they really like the college coach person that they had on the
Yeah.
phones.
Yeah. So we actually each time you interact with college coach, we do kind of switch up who that expert is. Sometimes you get the same person. And it's really kind of based on that college expert's availability and when you're requesting time. But we really encourage families to work with as many college experts as possible. Each one can look at something a little bit differently, provide a little bit kind of different information or in a way that makes a little more sense. So there's really a lot of benefit in working with many different coaches. They all also have kind of their own little expertise. For example, we have one who specializes in student athletes. So take advantage of as many coaches as you can. I will say that the college expert team takes meticulous notes on kind of what was discussed, outcomes, where families are in this process. And in advance of your college expert getting on the phone with you, they do read those notes. So they should be able to pick up right where the previous expert left off. So this is a long way of saying, you aren't able to, work with the same coach all 4 years, but that's really by design. We want you to kind of work with as many people as possible. Also, based on what it is that your session is about, we kind of break up the sessions into admissions based or finance based. So, depending on your question, we might shoot you over to the admissions team or the finance team. So that way, their expertise is really shining in their conversation with you.
Okay, great. Um, um, there's a question here. It says, need blind versus aware when filling out financial aid app questions on application. I guess that's a question about how to answer the questions on the
Yeah.
financial aid.
Yeah, I would really ask you to register for College Coach and then ask that question. That's probably just kind of a quick question that you can kind of pop in, and our team will kind of give you a reply over email within an hour. I'm sorry, within a day. If it's more extensive, feel free to schedule a counseling session, but that's not something I'm unfortunately able to answer for you today.
Okay. The next question is backup care a Columbia University or Bright Horizons service?
It is a benefit that Bright Horizons manage and is offered to Columbia University employees. So both College Coach and Backup Care falls under the Bright Horizons umbrella.
Okay. The next question is, some colleges say on their website that they'd count an outside scholarship and recalculate the financial aid. When should I notify colleges' financial aid offices that I get tuition benefit from my employer? I think this question here, if I could just jump in, is a little bit too specific here for this webinar.
Yeah. If you
Yeah.
could reach out to College Coach with that, again, that one might actually require a phone call, but we can certainly get that answered for you. I just am not the right person to do so.
Okay, yes. Can this benefit be used for graduate school? No.
Not really. The focus is really on undergraduate. There are some finance questions that kind of carry through, but generally speaking, no, it's really focused on undergraduate or those applying to college for the first time.
Okay. Another question is, I just registered for the site. Do I add my family or do they register separately? I don't see a place for them.
Yep. So you register yourself and then you'll enter in your students' information. And when you're doing that, there should be a button that allows you to add login credentials for them. If for some reason you're having trouble finding that, if you want to give a call to our College Coach team. There's the number up on the screen, or send an email to the Columbia at getintocollege.com. They can certainly help with that.
Okay. There's just someone is asking it, saying that they're not able to register on the site. I believe they should just call the number there if they're having.
Sure. Yeah. Sometimes we do, there's an eligibility file that sits behind this, and sometimes for whatever reason, we're not able to match it up immediately. So feel free to give us a call, and we'll be able to help you with that.
Okay. Is the College Coach component of Bright Horizons benefit free or is it deducted from the 200 yearly benefit hours?
It's free, completely separate from backup care. The only thing that would count against your backup care hours is if you were using the virtual tutoring benefit that I mentioned. If you're just interacting with College Coach, that has no implications on your backup benefit.
Okay. And then one final question here is, someone's getting an error message when they log in they use their login info on the site.
Yeah, just make sure that if you are registering for the first time, that you're clicking join today. If you've already registered, make sure that you're clicking log in and then enter in your own personal username and password. If that's still not working, just give us a call, and we can get that straightened out for you.
Okay. And why does the tutoring count 2 times hours?
Yeah, great question. It's really the cost of tutoring, as I'm sure many of you know, is very expensive. And so that's why, just with the cost of the programs, we need to deduct 8 hours for the 4 hours of tutoring.
Okay. A lot of great questions here,
Yeah.
very specific. But yes, yeah, I'm just looking. It looks like we've answered all the questions so
Okay.
far. And I don't see any more coming through right now. So um, I think this would be a good time to end the presentation here. And just if you have any final words for us, Lindsay.
Yeah, just thank you for your time today. And again, if you have any questions, if you leave here today and think of something in the middle of the night, just reach out to College Coach and we'd be happy to get those answered. And for those who are having trouble logging in, so sorry. Sometimes technology, all of that. So again, just give us a call and we can get that straightened out for you. And thank you.
Oh, yes. Thank you, everybody. Thanks so much for joining. Again, we'll send out a survey about today's presentation, and the slides will be available for you as well. And you can always look on the Human Resources website. We have a Lunch and Learn tab set up there, and you can get all information about College Coach. We have it all set up on Columbia's HR website. So thank you so much for joining. And that's about it. You can always reach out to me if you have any questions about College Coach or any of the tuition programs we offer here. Again, my name is Katie Lamador, and I'm the manager of tuition programs in the HR department. So thank you so much, everybody. And thank you, Lindsay.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Okay, thank you. Take care. All right, bye.